welcome back to my channel. This is Vera. So in today's video I'm going to be doing another hair care recipe that I'm going to be putting together here with a couple of different herbs that I was able to find in two different marketplaces. So the first one I'm going to share here is this one here, and I picked this up from a local African market. This one is called Ukazi Leaves. It is the wild spinach that grows specifically across the African region. I was very excited to pick this one up. When it comes to what it can provide for your hair, it contains a lot of magnesium, it contains iron, and it can definitely aid in the overall health of your scalp and your hair. So I'm going to be making a herbal infused aloe vera juice spray. This is the aloe vera juice that I will be using. This is by the George's brand, and this is 100% aloe vera, fractionally distilled drink from aloe vera leaves. It's good as a drink, and it's also good to be used in body care products. I have made a lot of different types of hair spritzes with aloe vera juice. This is the first time I'm using this brand. However, aloe vera juice is really good at providing hydration for the hair, and then I will be using that in tandem with the solar infused oil that I made here. So this is going to be for my LOC method, LCO method, to hydrate and seal in moisture for my hair. So this will be the spray, and it will be followed up with the oil. Then I'm also going to use organic alfalfa leaf, and you will be able to see a lot more of the benefits that I will post in the description for how these herbs can aid in hair growth for natural hair. So I'm just going to go ahead and get started here. So I've got my jar that I'm going to allow this infusion to sit in. I'm going to do an infusion for a couple of days to let the herbs set in the aloe vera juice. So this is the jar that I'll be using. I've got a strainer here to strain the leaves after I mix them together with the aloe vera juice. So the first thing I'm going to do is take some of my Ukazi leaves, and I'm going to place them into the calabash bowl. And I'm just going to zoom in here. So I'm going to place it in the bowl. And I really want to highlight this product, so I'm going to use a decent amount of it. This is what I've got left. And as I stated, I picked this up from an African market. I'm really much into finding different African herbs if I can find them in my locality. So this was one that I was curious about and did a little bit of research behind and wanted to see how it can create a hair care item. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and wash through this really quickly with some water. Okay, so I've gone ahead and rinsed through it with some water just to break up any kind of debris that may have settled. And then I'm going to go ahead and do the same with the alfalfa leaves. I'm going to mix it in here, rinse through it one more time, and then I'm going to mix together the aloe vera juice and these herbs in the calabash bowl and kind of work them around with my hands to really have kind of a deep-rooted experience with creating the ancestral hair care items that I create here on my channel. They very much have a spiritual connection, so I'm really going to work my hands through these and get the aloe vera mixed in with it. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is begin working through this with my hands, just kind of mixing together the alfalfa and the wild spinach leaves. I've got a little bit of water that I'm going to use in case I don't have the amount of aloe vera that I want to have. So I'm just going to go ahead and pour in the aloe vera juice. Hopefully I have enough to cover it completely. So it looks like I should have enough. And I want to make sure that the bowl stays up because it doesn't have a flat foundation. So I'm just going to use a box here, and I am going to pour that in here. And I'm just going to go through and kind of just work it together with my hands, rub the leaves together, and really just allow it to naturally release all of the goodness from the leaves. I love being able to have a real intimate, close relationship with the herbs. And I did also pick up the calabash bowl from my local African market, so I'm really excited to be able to get those elements incorporated into this hair care recipe. So just kind of squeezing and combining together these herbs with the aloe vera juice, really giving it a good feel, and just connecting with the herbs. I really enjoy herbalism and natural plant remedies, so this is definitely enjoyable for me. As many of you may know who have been here on my channel for the last 6 years or so, I definitely have a lot of herbal remedies, hair care items, and whatnot that I care very deeply about, and I'm very deeply rooted and connected to. So this is something that I am passionate about and that I personally enjoy. So I'm going to just keep my hands in there and just combine together, apply some pressure and release. As you can see there, just giving it a natural handcrafted infusion. And then I'm going to take the herbs and I'm going to add them into my jar, because I want, like I said, to infuse it for a couple of days as well. So I will take the plant matter out of the bowl and leave majority of the liquid to pour in afterwards. So I'm not really going to need my strainer yet. I will use that once I do my final strain for that. So now I'm going to go ahead with my jar, and I'm going to take the herbs, I'm going to squeeze it out, and I'm just going to throw it into the jar. As much as I can, and then pour the liquid over the top. I'll put the lid on and I will let it infuse for a couple of days. And I'm not going to do a heat infusion on this one. I'm just going to let it sit in a cool place. And wait for a couple of days and then come back and strain it, and then it will be ready to use for my natural hair care spritz. I'm just going to rinse my hands a little. And then I'm going to take the bowl out of here. I'll take my jar. And just empty it out there like that. And I'm going to go ahead and just use the rest of what I have in here to kind of collect the remainder, and then I will use part water just to follow it up, and just kind of rinse through the bowl, get the leftover debris. And when I rinsed my calabash bowl, I just rinsed it and used a little bit of Himalayan pink salt just to cleanse it from being on a shelf in a store market, so it is clean. I'm not going to use a lot of soaps on this. This is going to be for my herbal hair sprays, so I'm not going to be using anything that's going to stain it with any type of food flavors. So it'll be specifically for my hair care recipes. I'm just going to fill it all the way to the top, and that was the perfect amount of water, so I'm happy that that worked out there. Make sure everything is completely covered up. And I may add a little bit of extra water, just a little tiny bit. Just so that it is completely full. Like so. And then I'm going to put my lid on. Tighten that down. And that's what this hair tea herbal hair spritz is going to look like before I strain it. I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please give it 2 thumbs up, comment, and subscribe to my channel for more DIYs, recipes, and reviews. Stay tuned for the second part of this video, where I will be sharing the straining of it and bottling of the finished product. Thanks so much for watching.